So this scatter plot, it shows the relationship between Marvin's age and the time it took him to run a mile. So scatter plots and graphs, they all show the relationship between two different things. So in this case, we're looking at what is happening to Marvin's mile time as he is getting older. Now his age, so we're just examining, kind of from around 10 years old to 18 years old. That's the kind of the specific time frame we're looking at. So if you think about that age frame, if you're 10 years old, you're still developing, you're a little bit weaker and probably a little bit smaller than you are when you're 17 or 18. When you're much stronger and you're more developed, if you're 18 compared to 10, I mean, you've grown, your strides get longer, so generally your mile time is probably going to be a little bit quicker than when you were younger, like 10 or 11 years old. So that's really the time frame we're looking at in this graph. So which statement best describes the relationship between Marvin's age and the time it takes him to run a mile? So this is a multiple choice question on the Google form. I didn't copy over the answers, but we're just going to talk about this graph. So on this graph, let's look at these two points. These are kind of the extremes, the furthest left and the furthest right. So this point on the left, our age is on the bottom. So if we look at that point and we look where it's on the y-axis, so this is when Marvin was 11. Now let's look on the y-axis. The y-axis shows us how many minutes it takes him to run a mile. So it took him about 7 minutes to run a mile when he was 11 years old. If we look on the far right, it looks like he is 17 years old, and it takes him, I mean, you can just estimate, it's a little bit above the 5, so maybe like 5.25 minutes. So maybe 5 minutes and 15 seconds or something like that, 5.25. But as you can see, his age increased from 11 to 17, but what happened to his time? When he was 11 years old, he ran the mile in 7 minutes. Now he's 17, he ran the mile in about 5 minutes and 15 seconds, 5.25 minutes, somewhere around there. So as his age increased, his mile time decreased. So as one is increasing, the other is decreasing. This is a negative relationship. That's why this line has a negative slope. So there's an answer choice that says, as Marvin's age increased, the time it took him to run a mile decreased.